Welcome to Path History. Subscribe our channel to get regular notification and follow our official Facebook page. Our today's topic is the Puranas as sources of Indian history. The word Purana means old. According to tradition, the Puranas were composed by Vyash, but it is clear that in the form in which they have come down to us, they were neither the work of one person nor of one age. There are 18 Mahapuranas or Great Puranas and many more Upapuranas or secondary Puranas. The standard list of the 18 Mahapurans includes the Vishnu, Narad, Bhagavat, Garud, Padma, Varaha, Matsya, Kurma, Linga, Shiva, Skanda, Agni, Brahmanda, Brahmavaivarta, Markandeya, Bhavishya, Vaman, and Brahma. The origins of the Puranas may have overlapped to some extent with the Vedas, but their composition stretched forward into the 4th-5th centuries CE and, in some cases, even later. The Puranas are supposed to have 5 characteristics or Panchalakshanas, that is, they are supposed to discuss 5 topics: the creation of the world or Sarga, recreation, Pratisarga, the periods of the various Manus or Manvantars, the genealogies of gods and rishis or Vangsha, and an account of royal dynasties or Vangshanucharita. Accounts of royal dynasties include the Suryavamshi and Chandravamshi kings, whose origin is traced to the sun and the moon. Actually, not all Puranas deal with all these 5 topics, and most of them deal with much more. The conception of time in the Puranas is mind-boggling. There are 4 ages or yugas: Satya, Treta, Dwapar, and Kali, all consisting of thousands and thousands of years. These 4 yugas make up a Mahayuga, and 1000 Mahayugas constitute a Kalpa. Every Kalpa is divided into 14 Manvantars, each presided over by a Manu. One yuga follows the other, and the periodic destruction of the world is followed by its recreation. This cycle of time is connected with the cyclical decline and revival of Dharma. The earliest parts of the Puranic genealogies are either entirely or partly mythical. The latter genealogies of kings of the Kali age, which, according to tradition, began the day Krishna died, 20 years after the Mahabharata war, have historical material. The account is given in the future tense in the form of a prophecy because Vyasa is supposed to have lived at the end of the Dwapar Yuga and the beginning of the Kali Yuga before the events he is supposed to be describing. The Bhavishya Purana is mentioned in some Puranas as the original authority for the genealogies, but the present versions of the text have incomplete material on the subject. Although their details do not always match, the Puranas, especially the Vayu, Brahmanda, Brahma, Harivangsha, Matsya, and Vishnu, do provide useful information on ancient political history. They referred to historical dynasties such as the Haryankas, Shoishunagas, Nandas, Mauryas, Shungas, Kanvas, and Andhras or Shatavahanas. They also mention certain kings with names ending in the suffix Naga, who ruled in northern and central India in the early centuries CE, about whom very little else is known. The dynastic lists end with the Guptas and the time frame is 4th to 6th centuries, indicating that most of the Puranas were compiled at about this time. However, some are later, that is, the Bhagavata Purana belongs to the 10th and the Skanda Purana to the 14th century, with additions made up to the 16th century. The Puranas have accounts of mountains, rivers, and places which are useful for the study of historical geography. They also reflect the emergence of religious cults based on devotion, especially towards the gods Vishnu and Shiva and the goddess Shakti. This devotion was expressed through the worship of images of deities in temples, pilgrimage or tirtha, and vows or vrata. Some of the Puranic myths, such as the stories of encounters and interactions between demons or Rakshas or Asuras, gods or devas, and sages or rishis, are interpreted by historians as allegorical representations of interactions among people belonging to different cultures. The Puranas had a very important function in the Brahmanical tradition as vehicles of Brahmanical social and religious values. At the same time, they also reflected the interaction of Brahmanical and non-Brahmanical cultural traditions and the emergence and development of Hindu religious practices. This is the end of this discussion. Subscribe our YouTube channel Path History and follow our official Facebook page. For additional query, mail us, and for details see the description